The Gardener, by P. Lankesh. 1. The chance encounter with a philosopher like Gardner. The narrator warns that stories lose their truth when over-explained. He recalls meeting an old man in a coconut grove near Channarayapatna. The man, tall and strong despite age, carried a spade and a newspaper, looking like both a worker and a thinker. This figure seemed ordinary yet extraordinary, setting the stage for the tale. 2. The gardener's arrival and transformation of the estate. The old man had once walked hundreds of miles before arriving at the estate. Hired instantly, he proved indispensable. Thefts ended, harvests improved, and profits multiplied. The owner grew richer, but instead of sharing the gardener's diligence, he sank into idleness and luxury. 3. The owner's wife. Wealth without peace. While the estate grew from 10 acres to vast holdings, the owner's wife began to feel uneasy. Riches and social status rose, but her husband's indulgence in parties, friendships, and pleasures made her fear betrayal, dishonor, or moral downfall. Material success, she realized, did not guarantee stability at home. 4. A quiet evening conversation by the well. At sunset, the wife sat with the gardener, who brought her tender coconuts. The scene of fading sunlight through the trees symbolized calm and reflection. Understanding her distress, he began telling her a story meant not just to entertain, but to reveal truths about human life and rivalry. 5. Introducing Tammanna and the shadow of rivalry. The gardener's story began in a far-off place with Tammanna, a wealthy, respected man who seemed to have everything. Yet his life was defined by one thing above all: his rival. The rival's name shifts first to Sangoji, then to Basavaiah, suggesting how reality changes in storytelling. What mattered was not the name, but the consuming presence of rivalry. 6. The land wars. Rivalry turns to possession. Tammanna and Basavaiah copied each other in everything. If one gained land, the other did the same. Soon they controlled almost the whole village. Tammanna owned 1,000 acres, Basavaiah 800. Unable to tolerate this gap, Basavaiah demanded land, and when refused, seized it violently. Competition turned to open hostility. 7. The search for a deeper revenge. Tammanna's followers urged him to fight in court or with weapons, but Tammanna sought a subtler, deadlier response. He decided to compose ballads about Basavaiah, turning his life into poetry. This shifted their conflict from visible, material ground to invisible, cultural ground where reputation mattered more than land. 8. Art as a weapon. Songs that wound deeper than swords. Basavaiah was helpless before this new form of attack. His farming and possessions could not counter Tammanna's songs, which spread across the land. Critics, translators, and folklorists celebrated Tammanna, while Basavaiah was ridiculed as cruel and small-minded. Tammanna himself lost interest in land. Art became his life and legacy. 9. Basavaiah's desperate pursuit of prestige. Shamed, Basavaiah turned to wealth. He built a grand palace, filled it with jewels, and hired flatterers to sing his praises. Yet visitors found the place empty without Tammanna's works. In desperation, Basavaiah invited scholars, poets, and musicians, but prestige built on imitation could never rival authentic creativity. 10. Illness and the final thought of death. When Tammanna fell ill, Basavaiah felt victory was near. If the body collapsed, so would the spirit. But Tammanna realized something radical. He could deny Basavaiah victory even in death. If songs survived without him, his rival could never truly triumph. Death itself became Tammanna's final weapon. 11. Human nature, the endless hunger for revenge. The gardener paused to reflect. Wealth, art, and learning may enrich life, but often people live only for revenge. He admitted this was not a literal history he had seen, but a story he had read and shaped. With age, he mused, names fade, and a man becomes just an old man, but the drive for rivalry never leaves. 12. Parallels with nations. Losing an enemy means losing meaning. The old man recalled reading how Russia declared to America that it was not an enemy. America's identity, built on rivalry, suddenly felt empty. Nations might manage such emptiness, but individuals often cannot. He himself once believed his death would be the ultimate revenge. Ironically, after he withdrew, Basavaiah soon died, having lost the very reason to live. 13. The shocking revelation. I am Tammanna. Then came the revelation. My name is Tammanna. After Basavaiah's death, he abandoned his songs and fame. For him, revenge was complete only in becoming a non-entity. By stepping away from glory, he achieved the cruelest victory, leaving no ground for his rival to fight upon. 14. Advice to the owner's wife. Treat it as a dream. Turning to the owner's wife, he observed that her husband was prospering and beyond advice. Everyone, he said, lives for some rivalry or revenge, and that is unavoidable. He asked her not to take his words too seriously, to treat them as dreams. He then mentioned visiting a sick but talented child, showing how life flows beyond rivalries. 15. The dreamlike closure. The gardener ended with humility. Forgive me. He said he had spoken only what he felt, and that it all came from a dream. The story thus ended in ambiguity, leaving the listener unsure if it was a confession, parable, or imagination, just as life itself often blurs truth and fiction. Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Thanks for watching.